Hey everybody, this is Maggie. How are you doing? I know y'all like Maggie. We didn't get the weekly reading for last week. Why all of a sudden you want to pop up? Okay, because I was feeling a little down, so I wanted to make sure I get that kind of low vibration out of me. I don't know if it was because of Mercury retrograde and then Mercury being in Scorpio, but I just had my spirit wasn't right, and so I don't like to do readings when my spirit isn't in a good place, because I don't want my personal energy to jump into your readings, because we all know how it feels when you have a friend that's miserable and they try to make you feel like your life is miserable too. So I'm not that person. If my energy just so happens to pop up in the reading, I want it to be positive. Okay, so I will do the weekly reading for this week. I will also record and post or upload the reading for Scorpio season, since that's coming up and I'm a Scorpio, so come on now. But this video is the start of my tarot and oracle deck reviews. Okay, and what we're going to review right now is the New Orleans Voodoo tarot deck. This was a special request from my psychic sister, Chemist's Apothecary. I will have her Instagram up above. Check her out. She does readings, Reiki. She has protection oils, money oils, love oils on her Instagram. She also has where she gives like an explanation for each oil and what you should do with them. And she's just a cool chick. I love her. Okay, I love everybody from Detroit. My boo is from Detroit. So back to this. Okay, I purchased this on September 25th deck. It cost, I got it from Amazon. I'm gonna leave a link below if you decide to purchase it, but it was $31.50. Tax included for me, it was $34.63. To me, that's not bad, because with the amount of information that you get is worth it. All right, so it's worth the coin. So anytime I decide to do a reading, not a reading, okay, a review on a deck, I'm gonna take time to read the book and do a couple of readings on myself with the cards, get familiar with them, break them in, and then come to you and give you my perspective on the deck, on whether I will use it in videos or will it just be a part of my collection. Okay, I believe it has 79 cards, so you have an extra card, so it's like 23 major arcanas, and then of course the 14 I'm off duty as far as being an accountant, so if it equals up to 79, whoop-de-doo, goody. But your different minor arcana sections. Okay, you get this nice thick book that explains everything about the deck, and of course you have the first 34 pages of the book. It gives you a nice introduction into New Orleans Voodoo and explains the deck to you. One thing I noticed immediately about the deck is that it doesn't truly follow the Rider-Waite-Smith protocol or procedure for the tarot decks. They understand that if you buy this deck that you're not going to be versed in voodoo, but they try to explain it. One thing they do, like I appreciate that they did, was they said in the book, don't use this thinking this is going to be an introduction to voodoo for you, and all of a sudden you're going to be a priestess. This is not the ticket. Okay, I love how they also gave like a brief history on it to let you know. I'm going through the book, that's why y'all gonna see me looking down, because I highlighted some things in here. Like, there's a difference between Santeria, and there's a difference between New Orleans Voodoo. There's a difference between Haitian Voodoo, and there's a difference between a Voodoo that's in Africa, as in Congos and Dahomey. I think I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not, but it's called present day Benin now. Well, in the minor arcanas, you have a suit that represents New Orleans Voodoo, a suit for Santeria, a suit for Haitian Voodoo, and then a suit for the Benin Hoodoo. Okay, so and now let's just get to the meat and potatoes of it. I won't be using this deck, and the reason why I won't be using this deck is because I can't connect with it. I tried to read the book thoroughly, but the only place I got to finish was the introduction, and after that, my spirit just kind of like threw up a wall. I got nauseous, and I just couldn't go forward with it. It's a good deck, I would say, for anyone who is interested in it, and if you want to learn things. I appreciate how they broke down why they did blood sacrifices back in the day, and that's because, well, that's what you sacrifice what's important to you. So if you have to raise your own food, meaning you have to grow your vegetables and your fruits, and you have to raise the animals that you intend to eat, well, then if you want to sacrifice something to your deity, then that's what you do. Right now, we don't have to do that. We can go to the store to get us some lamb chops and steak and potatoes and what have you. So you trying to sacrifice these things to one of these deities, Loas or Orishas, is it's kind of meaningless from what this author Louise Martinez and Sally Ann Glassman are saying. So sacrificing what means the most to us these days is time and money. So when they said that, it clicked in my head. It's like, okay, well, in Christianity, we sacrifice things too, but we call it tithes and offerings, okay? And being in auxiliary groups. So it gave me another level of respect for those who practice it, and not looking at them. I never looked at them before as just some crazy people spitting out wine and burning candles. I never looked at them like that, because again, that is their practice, and I'm the type of person, I respect everybody's spiritual path. So I appreciate them breaking it down that way. And I also appreciate how she even has like a chart in the book that she kind of breaks down right here. She gives an outline of the traditional major arcana, and then she gives another breakdown of how it relates to, like a cheat sheet for the for each of the major arcana cards. Like for the Fool, she has Damballa. Dr. John will be like the magician. Marie Laveau is the high priestess. Possession will be strength and lust. Crochet is the hermit. The market is the wheel of fortune, and so on and so on. So I appreciate the book for giving a good lesson on the history of each tradition of voodoo, okay, and Santeria. So it was a good read for that. And she also explained the difference between most traditional religious practices, the Western esoteric traditions, and voodoo as well. So if you were a person who's a skeptic and was like, okay, yeah, what is this all about, then she broke it down real nicely for you. And she also gave a background as to her personal voyage or journey with voodoo, okay? And one thing I appreciate that she said was, I'm going through here looking for the highlights. Like right here, she's saying that Santeria is a sister religion to voodoo. Santeria and the spirits and practices that have come to be called voodoo find their initial theology in different African peoples. Santeria derives a good deal of its heritage from the religious practices of the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Voodoo looks to the Fon-speaking people of the once great Dohime, which is present-day Benin, as a major source, with contributions from the Abu, Congo, Nagos, and other African peoples. The families of spirits of these African peoples, though related, are different. So that's why I say you can't just up and say, okay, I want to practice voodoo. You have to make sure you understand which area of voodoo that you're actually going into. So you can't just take a piece from here and throw it there, even though they did that in this deck. But I think this deck will be good for you to kind of like cipher which area you would like to go in, okay? Now, for the suits for New Orleans Voodoo, they call it Congo. Okay. And I think Santeria has its deck here. And then you have, well, suit. And then Rada, which I believe is the Haitian Voodoo. Oh, and then Congo represents the water suit. Santeria represents the earth suit. And, well, equivalent. And then Rada, which is, they have it for the Haitian Voodoo, that is wind. And then Petro will be the fire section, which is equivalent to the Benin Voodoo. Okay, so once I finish talking, and I think I've gotten out everything that I want to say about this deck, I will do just a flip through at the end for you to get an idea of what the cards look like, and you can just look at them and see if you connect with them from there. But overall, let me see what else I want to show y'all in here. They even a good section, the table of contents has a breakdown for the different, they call them the arcana, the major arcana roads. Where is it? Here. Okay, and then they break down the different they have it broken down by number. So you have the 4 10s, the 4 1s, and then as far as cards, they have different names as well. And then she also gives a breakdown of possessions, and then she has here a what, like if you want to use a card to as you prepare an altar or what have you for each of the roads or major arcana cards and the spirit that they represent. She also has a list of appropriate sacrifices for you to put on the altar form. I thought that was nice. And then she goes into, of course, I told you about the comparison part. She even has some Kabbalah related instances in here too, with the tree of life. She has this graph here that gives you the breakdown of the tree of life in each card, and then where it falls into the tree of life, because you know you have one side that's the masculine standpoint, the other is the feminine, and in the middle you have the spiritual part. So that was nice for her to do that. And then of course I told you where she has the breakdown for each of the cards. Yeah, I got that right. So here again, she has the cards broken down by suit and which section of this religious practice, and then how you can tell the difference. So you can keep track if you're a person who uses, I just saw 1818. So if you're a person who just is jumping from traditional tarot into using this deck, she has it to where you can kind of have a guide to go back and forth in between the two. Okay, and then as far as her descriptions for each card, you get like a page and almost 2 pages of information for each. She gives you a breakdown of what it is, and then she has a summary of it, and then she has the contemplation section where she tells you, I guess this is related to the voodoo aspects of it, and then she has the divination part where she explains what you can do for that. So overall, this is a nice book, and they even have spreads in the back for you to use, and then a glossary again if you get confused and you just want a quick section for you to go get stuff. And then she also has a section for an appendix for where you can go and contact people to get supplies and more questions from individuals about voodoo practicing. And of course she has an index. So this is a huge book, a 276 page book. So if you get this deck and you decide to use it, I recommend that you keep this close by. Now, as y'all know, I'm from Louisiana, okay? So I don't practice New Orleans voodoo, but I have a respect for it and for those who practice it, okay? Anything that I know about New Orleans voodoo, I've learned from word of mouth, from family members and friends, okay? Because even though I'm in Baton Rouge, city is just an hour away, okay? So, of course, I have spent some time in New Orleans, and I understand the energy of it. And you could always watch a movie with different old hocus pocus myths about it, but really it's a practice that some people choose to do as far as their spirituality goes. So, in Louisiana, we don't turn our nose up at people who practice voodoo because it's for them, that's their church, okay? So this is not a video that's going to bash New Orleans voodoo or voodoo in general. If that's what you're looking for, please check out somebody else, okay? I'm a fan of American Horror Story. The only 2 seasons that I enjoy are The Coven and The Apocalypse, because it has the characters from The Coven in The Apocalypse. Just like in those storylines, if you don't know the spells accurately, you can mess up something, okay? So it's not like you can go to Google a spell to make somebody fall in love with you and you just think it's going to work out. You don't know what you're fooling with. So if you're not versed in it, if you haven't gone to somebody's store, a voodoo priest or priestess, to figure it out, make sure you're doing it correctly. Don't do it, because we all believe in the rule of whatever you do comes back to you 10 times fold. And we also believe that it may not pop back directly on you, it can pop back on your children. So me personally, I just respect it. But anyway, I like it. I can't connect with it. I love it because it represents home, and I love how she calls the section for New Orleans voodoo Congo, because it reminds me of Congo Square. And I just love how that was a place during the times of slavery where our ancestors would go on Sundays and just celebrate each other's traditions. And just visualizing that makes me smile, because I'm a person that's always, I connect with drums and chants and music. I just love it. So I would love to go to like carnival time in Haiti or Rio de Janeiro or in the Caribbean. I will even go to one in Africa. I just want to experience it, because I know that's where my spirit would just probably leave my body, and I'll just be in 2 places at one time having a good old time during carnival. Because Mardi Gras is favorite for me, but I know there's nothing compared. Mardi Gras is just a teaspoon of what carnival is like. All right, so I want to say even half a teaspoon, okay? For this deck, I will still give it I'll give it a 9 out of 10, because it's informative and it helps you understand another spiritual practice. And I only take 1 point off because I won't use it, okay? But appearance wise, explanation of the book is excellent. The cards stock is very good. I shuffle as soon as I get decks. I just shuffle for days, getting the feel of it. And it was very easy to shuffle. It's very easy to shuffle. It fits in your hand real nicely, okay? If you wanted to put it in your purse and grab like a velvet bag, I did that, and it wasn't heavy. I mean, but this is the entire deck in my hand. So very nicely. And I think I have average size hands, okay? So yeah, it's enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and get to the flip through. that's it for my chit chat about the deck. Y'all let me know if y'all have a deck y'all would like for me to review. I will be more than happy to do it. Feel free to purchase it. I recommend purchasing if you want to learn about New Orleans voodoo or any other practices. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but as a something to use as your only guide to it, no. Okay, I recommend that you get a mentor that would definitely explain to you the spells and give you a thorough history on New Orleans voodoo, Santeria, Haitian voodoo, and Benin voodoo. Okay, so if you like this video, leave some comments below and let me know what you felt about the New Orleans voodoo tarot deck if you got it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys later for more readings and reviews. Okay, all right.